I want him to hear me say this because this gonna go on our page, and I gotta take my glasses off. No longer McLovin X. Nah, this is real live McLovin. And zoom in. If you don't like, share, goddamn comment, post on our shit, you don't fuck with us, man. That's just done dollar. Like, you ain't cool. You ain't part of the Millennial crew. We don't fuck with you. Lit ass week to you, my friend. Yeah, nigga. Lit ass week. Yeah, until we meet again. Hey, have a lit ass week.
What's up, y'all? It's your girl, Nia Amber.
Yeah, what it do, man? This your boy, 8Ball.
Yo, this your boy, Pimp Type. MJG, 8Ball and MJG, and you're listening to Dear Millennials,
the lit ass podcast.
Make sure you guys have a lit ass week, all right? You know what it is, the baddest chick.
Yo, Dear Millennials, the lit ass podcast. What it do, baby? Now y'all know y'all on mute.
My bad. Hey, look, man, this is the shit I was talking about, man. I was on mute. I was ready. Lit, motherfucking litty. You know my bad.
What it do, What it do, y'all? We are Dear Millennials, the lit ass podcast. Welcome to season 5, episode 9, Millennial Health, featuring CEO Ashley Dortch and Nurse Scott. Ladies and gentlemen, you are in for a treat. If you are watching YouTube live, please hit the like button. Please hit the subscribe button. If you like what you're hearing, you like what you're seeing, share with a friend who gonna share with a friend who gonna share with another friend who gonna share with her mama, and then she gonna share with her grandma, and then she gonna share with all her grandkids. Spread the word. Dear Millennials, a lit ass podcast. Like us on all social media handles. Just search Dear Millennials, and you can find Dear Millennials podcast on all podcasting platforms. It's your boy, top ranked Marvin Frank, singer, songwriter, educator, student to the game, and the homie, lover, friend, McLovin. How you feeling? What's up, brother?
Man, what up, you already know what it is, man. South Memphis stand up. It's your boy McLovin. Got these chicks hot, straight out the oven. Educator, motivator, dark skin, Jameson, teacher, preacher. Got you down laughing, calling me the Grim Reaper. I actually no more cough no more. I'm not coughing no more. Mary Jane,
put an end to the coughing. This is something new. Way to end the season. That's what's up. It's your girl, Mary Jane, Georgia raised, Memphis made, book club creator, the HBCU advocator, and your favorite around the way girl.
What's and up, together y'all? We are. What up, Mary Jane? You look at your. I love your hair. It's so.
She give me that Brazilian.
Yeah.
Shakira, hips don't lie, you know.
Well, thank you. This is really a bad hair day, but I appreciate it.
We know.
Nah, you look great, Mary Jane. And together we are Dear Millennials, the lit ass podcast. Again, welcome to season 5, episode 9, Millennial Health, featuring 2 very special guests. We want to introduce our first guest, ladies and gentlemen. Give it up for the one and the only Miss Ashley Dortch. She's a native of Memphis, Tennessee. She is the founder and the CEO of Millennial Consulting, which is a service that provides personal and professional development for young professionals who desire to work-life balance. All right, she has tons of expertise and she uses them in her skill set to ensure that young professionals receive real solutions and experience true results. Miss Dortch, how you feeling, Ashley? It's so good to see you.
Thank you for having me.
We appreciate you for coming through. And our second guest, she needs no introduction. But we're gonna introduce her anyway. She's social media famous, and she's famous in real life, y'all. She's not just a viral celebrity, but ladies and gentlemen, we have Nurse Scott, a native of, an alum of Albany State University, in addition to Sanford University in Birmingham, Alabama. She is currently on the front lines working as an internal medicine med-surg COVID nurse in ATL, Georgia. That's my Lloyd voice. The purpose of Nurse Scott is to provide transparent, detailed, inspirational guidance on how to survive nursing school and how to achieve the goal of becoming a registered nurse through sharing her personal experiences as a newly graduated nurse. Nurse Scott, ladies and gentlemen, the fedora is in the building. She's queening right now.
Definitely needed it. Hey, y'all. Thanks for having me on here, though. I'm definitely not Instagram famous, so. But
from what I saw, to me, anything over. Okay, I won't even go there. But you do get a lot of traction. You do post a lot of dope videos. I was definitely taking notes on how you do your reels. You're quite the comedian too, I must say, Miss Scott. But again, ladies and gentlemen, Nurse Scott and Miss Ashley Dortch. Ladies, we appreciate you all being here. Ashley, how have things been going? How have you? I mean, though you're a therapist, how have you been able to keep yourself, I guess, sustaining through the pandemic and just all that's been going on? I'm sure. Yeah. So how have you been?
Oh, I have a new hobby. I'm out here gardening. I got the greens, the peppers, the carrots, anything that's in the Aldi grocery store, it's in my backyard. So I came over
I love it.
With the green thumb.
And can we see your shirt? Can the people see your shirt? I'm gonna bring you closer. Hold on 1 second. Man, you need therapy at I Need Therapy or shout out. Is that your shirt?
It is. It's on my website. Shameless plug. MillennialConsults.com. You need therapy. Your mama need therapy. Your dad need therapy, and your grandmama and your best friend. That's not your friend. Need therapy as well.
And no more. And all that.
That one.
Do I need therapy?
Yeah.
Wow. What that mean?
We all need it. You need it just like you get your pastor, your barber. Everybody needs one.
Okay.
Ashley, you got to tell like Ayanla would tell her, I'm not going to fight you for your healing. Bree Scott, how are you, love? How's life in ATL?
I'm doing good, and I'm actually not in ATL. I live in Gwinnett now. I just recently moved.
Georgia?
Right, correct them.
Right, because y'all know how y'all be. I don't even want to get on here and say I'm in Atlanta, and then they be like, oh, she not in Atlanta. She in Gwinnett. So I'm in Gwinnett right now, but
y'all be false claiming Atlanta all the time. Motherfuckers be in Jonesboro, Lawrenceville. Yeah, I'm from Jones.
Well, the thing
McDonough.
is, sometimes folks from the outside do not know the difference. It's a whole.
It don't matter. You don't. That's like somebody saying, "Oh yeah, I'm from what they be saying here?
Memphis.
I'm from South Haven. I mean, I'm from Memphis. Where you stay? South Haven. Nigga, you ain't from Memphis.
McLovin, all I'm gonna say is this: when it was the Gucci versus Jeezy versus, everybody went hard talking about what side Gucci made us from, knowing that man from Best
Nigga ain't even from Atlanta.
But anyway,
Oh my gosh, we really are not about to get to this because
nigga
I will
ain't from
fight you.
Atlanta.
Especially
feel
now
that
that I got
is
these
definitely a debate.
hormones. Yeah, I will definitely fight you. I
nah.
will jump
Gucci
across-
Mane
I
is
will
from
jump through the
Alabama.
screen and slap you right now. So stop.
Oh.
I've been through this conversation. I told y'all to stop coming for Gucci a long time ago. Stop bringing his name up. Stop putting his name
Yes,
in your
ma'am.
mouth.
That's your name, Mary Jane.
First of all, we love Goo-Wop. We love Goo-Wop. Hey,
of all.
McLovin, she hit us with, what did the 5 fingers say to the face? Ladies and gentlemen, again, we are Dear Millennials, a lit-ass podcast, season 5, episode 9, Millennial Health, featuring Ashley Dortch and Nurse Scott. Before we get into our topic this evening, which we'll be talking about Millennial Health, yo, we got a lot to kind of break down. There's a lot going on in the world, but question, All right. Have you ever heard the saying, well, research says millennials seem to be less healthy than generations in the past. Also, did you know that most millennials have begun seeing a health decline at the age of 27? So we got quite a bit to talk about when it comes to our physical health, emotional health, mental health, all of those things. So we appreciate you tuning in. If you're watching YouTube, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, leave a comment. All right, share with a friend who share with another friend and another friend. All right, before we get into our topic this evening, we want to kick it over to Kicking It with Karys Belger. She's our Dear Millennials correspondent. Karys, what's up?
Guys, Karys here. Thank you so much for having me this evening. And since May is Asian American Pacific Islander Heritage Month, I wanted to bring attention to a recent survey that's been getting a lot of attention, particularly on the internet. The results were recently published, and it says that 42% of people in the US can't name a single prominent Asian American. Now, this is, of course, important because there's been a lot of conversation around the Stop AAPI, that's Asian American Pacific Islander hate movement. And, of course, a lot of conversation that's increased since the shooting in Atlanta in March. So just to give you a quick rundown of some of those results, it was commissioned by Leading Asian Americans to Unite for Change. And they surveyed 2,766 U.S. residents between March 29th and April 14th. Now, some of the results vary, but just a quick read, 90% of Black Americans and 73% of Hispanic Latino Americans say they're discriminated against as well. That came up. But the survey found that 55% of respondents that identify as Republican said Asian Americans are either treated fairly or better than others. Conversely, 77% of those who identified as Democrats believe Asian Americans are discriminated against. And also, according to the survey, 37% of white Americans, 30% of Black Americans, and 24% of Hispanic Americans, as well as 13% of Asian Americans, said they were unaware of the uptick in hate crimes against Asian Americans. About 70% of respondents said that they could not name one. The most common response actually was, I don't know. And the most common people named were Jackie Chan and Bruce Lee. Not even arguably one of the most prominent Asian Americans in our country right now, our Vice President, Kamala Harris. She did not come up. And a lot of people who were talking about this online, I've spoken with a few experts locally in Buffalo at different colleges, they say this has a lot to do with representation, not just in the media, but across different professional spheres. It's not that they aren't there aren't prominent Asian Americans, it's that we don't necessarily hear about them or their accomplishments. So just something to consider. I myself thought, how many could I name? Fortunately, I can name quite a few, but that's not the case. So a lot of this goes into the larger conversation of how we discuss this community, and particularly how do we discuss the events that are happening in this community. Thank you so much for having me. I'm going to send it back to you guys in the studio.
Thank you, Karys. We appreciate you. Quick question. How many prominent Asian Americans can you name other than Jackie Chan, Jet Li, and Vice President Kamala Harris? Can anybody name anybody other than them?
Jackie Chan was definitely my first go-to, so
I was gonna say Young Jock wife. I don't know her name.
I didn't know he was married.
Not Young Jock.
Young Jock wife.
Is Young Jeezy? Do you say Young Jeezy or Young Jock?
Yeah, Young Jeezy's wife. What's her name?
What's her name? Gina May?
Gina May. Ma?
Something like that.
M-A-I.
I was going to counter that, like, not to be rude or anything, but I sometimes feel like I gotta ask the question, do Asian Americans even identify themselves as Asian Americans publicly? Because I feel like they use that privilege, as a benefit. So maybe we can identify those Asian Americans as well as we can identify Black Americans, Hispanic Americans, all of them, because use their privilege whenever it benefits them. So
interesting.
For real, sorry I gotta say it, but hey.
Interesting. Anybody else have any thoughts? Yeah, go ahead, Ash.
Yeah, I would say it is easy for them to assimilate. I've been watching the media as it grows, and I learn a little bit more. But when they do highlight the history of the hate, the people who are like the spokesperson, they may have had like work done to their face, so you can tell that they have been pressured or forced to assimilate in some way, as we all do culturally.
Yeah.
We're all victims of it, but it is sad that we really can't name.
It is sad. Yeah.
I can name one.
I do think Jeannie Mae does like put out there on the platform, and I did notice on the show too. She does talk about her family history and like her family.
She does a lot.
Yeah, so when you mentioned her name, I can't agree that she does identify with her Asian background inside. But no, I do not know a lot of prominent.
The dude from Mortal Kombat, the dude who played Bihan. Yup, he Asian. I don't know his name though.
Did you know about him before Mortal Kombat?
Yeah, because he was in that no, he was in another movie, Raid Redemption. I don't know if y'all watch stuff like that. So I knew him.
I've never seen it.
Huh?
Interesting.
Did you just Google that, or you knew?
And I did.
Right. He over there typing. Anyway, let's go ahead and move.
I was about to say.
Damn, I can't know who that is. Y'all some haters.
Y'all so funny. Again, thank you for joining us. Season 5, episode 9, Millennial Health, featuring Ashley Dortch and Nurse Scott. Make sure you hit the like button, the subscribe button, leave a comment. If you're in the chat, feel free to talk yo ish. Shout out to Evolving Butterfly, Road Dev Entertainment, Regine Mabry. I see y'all in the chat. Thank y'all so much for joining. Millennial Health. Okay, would you like to correct it since you obviously know this person? No, go ahead. No, go ahead.
Anyway,
come on, man. Shout
Shout out to my girl, Regine.
They love it. You've done all that at this point. Go ahead. But how do you pronounce? Because I really want to know.
Let's talk about Millennial Health.
Okay, we can. But how do you? Or do you not know how to pronounce the name, and that's why you're doing that?
I know how.
Call him out.
Okay, so say the name, please.
It's correct.
Anyway, Millennial Health. So let's start. According to Blue Cross Blue Shield, the following quote. All right, and feel free, anybody, to jump in. Millennials are on track to have a lower life expectancy than past generations. Without much context, are you all surprised by this? We'll start with Ashley.
I say yes and no, because growing up, Big Mama and them, they did live to like 80, 85. However, millennials, I feel like we got the best of both worlds. We like healthy, but then we turn up because I'm kind of concerned on the effects of hookah long term for us. So yeah, I don't know. It's surprising. I kind of feel like we're going to live longer. But then they have fast food like that. So and we indulge.
Interesting. McLovin, how do you feel? Are you surprised at all about this?
No. Cause we live in that mindset of living my best life type of age. I feel like things back then were not a big concern. I think a lot of times we have taken into consideration social media and how that affects us and how that causes depression and how just technology in general puts us at a disadvantage sometimes, because now we worrying about the next motherfucker when Paw ass was cheating on goddamn Nana 3 streets down and she ain't know shit about it because they ain't on Instagram. So so that's it.
Oh my gosh.
Interesting. Mary Jane, how do you feel? And then Bree.
I believe that if anything, the reason would be because of stress. I feel like us as millennials, we do not have the same resources as older generations may have had, although we are more equipped technically, like with technology and whatnot. We undertake so much stress because the system just does not support us to survive and thrive in this environment. So if anything, I think it's going to be stress along with some of the things that we kind of like take advantage of indulging in, which I'm pretty sure we're going to. Yeah.
Nurse Bree, you work on the front lines in hospitals. Are you at all surprised by this finding from Blue Cross Blue Shield that we have a lower life expectancy?
I'm really not. And honestly, the first thing that came to my mind was we do have a lot of technology and a lot more distractions. And in the hospital setting, what we do find more is that young people die more from either violence, like gunshot wounds, or a car accident. I don't really hear a lot of young adults or young people dying from like health-related issues. And so I'm not really surprised. Like our grandparents, they didn't eat the best. And, you know, they didn't have that much education on health and mental health and things of that sort. But I feel like we have so much education on mental health. We also have so much education on just how to eat better and things of that sort. But I feel like sometimes, like we said, we're gonna live our best life and we want to do what we want to do. I agree with what you're saying, Ashley, that hookah really probably will have a basically a backlash on us later down the line. Definitely other things that we indulge in. So I'm not really surprised, but I think it's more because of technology and us being distracted. A lot of people are dying from car accidents and violence more than health-related issues.
You all mentioned social media, and a lot of studies have shown that social media has been a great cause of depression, right? I mean, I think we've talked about this on the show. I know I've definitely suffered from it. So as a therapist, Ashley, Ms. Dortch, what commonalities do you find among millennials when it comes to depression? Like whether it's the causes of those things or what?
So
if you can share.
I've been doing a lot of studying on what we think of midlife crisis. I feel like our generation, we're having a millennial life crisis where we feel like we should be at a certain point at a certain time by your late 20s. Life technically doesn't work like that. However, we see false realities on social media, so that causes our anxiety to go up, and we feel overwhelmed and we feel sad that we're not where we think we should be, when in actuality none of us know what our full plan is. And it definitely increases a lot of other stressors that affects your health. Like it's really detrimental to our health, to ourselves. Like we should take and indulge into social media fasting, just to disconnect to yourself.
Interesting. McLovin, I think, did we talk about before at the show, and Mary Jane, did you all ever say that you feel like you have suffered from some type of like depression or things like that, like obviously as a millennial? Was that the only one?
I think sometimes, and that goes back to like, no such thing as a life better than yours. We like to then look at social media and believe like, damn, like these motherfuckers doing this shit. Like, damn, this nigga got all this guap money, not knowing this nigga applied for the PPP loan and shit like that. Like, damn, like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
Then they realize
who you shading?
Them motherfuckers realize stunning on motherfucker. Here my ass at goddamn building teaching me goddamn kid not learning the goddamn thing. And it's like, damn, like so yeah, so then I feel like we compare lives through social media. Whereas, Granny and Papa on them ate bad, I'm not taking that away, but it's like we deal with something way worse, because I feel like once your mental fucked up, that's all over.
Right.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think it was anything like social media depression, but definitely how other people's social media presence can have an impact on how you compare yourselves to them. I've definitely have suffered from that, like thinking that I'm not on the right track or the right. So I've shared that before on some of the episodes. So that's real.
I agree.
No, go ahead.
I was just saying, it made me think about someone who was in my DMs probably like a few months ago, and she was like, you need to put a lifestyle out there. You need to show people what nursing can do and, show traveling. And I'm like, yeah, that's good. But in reality, like, I almost failed out of nursing school. Like I was struggling, like all of these things. So you don't want to I don't want to portray that nursing is just glamorous. And in reality, it's hard, it's ugly, it's nasty. Nursing school is hard. I cried every day. I was depressed. Like, let's just be real. So I don't want to put a facade on my social media knowing good and well that's not how I got to where I was. And I didn't even ask
No, you did, Nurse Bree, a lot of things that we saw, especially in media on the news, was the mental health impact, the physical health impact that COVID-19 had on those like yourself who are on the front line. So speaking to what you showcase and what you do not showcase, what was your experience like as a nurse? Like, I mean, yeah, dealing with patients with COVID and just being in the thick of it. If you don't mind talking about that, sharing that with us.
So yeah, it was very hard. Okay, so when I started nursing, I started literally 2 months before the pandemic started. So my initial thought was, man, like I'm gonna die. Like I'm gonna die within the first year of being like a nurse. Like I was just like, dang, because they were making it seem like everybody was like dropping like flies. Like, and we didn't know what to do in the healthcare system. And then I was thinking like, we were running out of protective gear. So I'm thinking I'm gonna have to quit my job. I have no background besides my biology degree. So I'm probably not gonna even be able, I apologize. I'm probably not gonna even be able to use my nursing degree. And so at first it was just a lot of emotions. And then I got COVID in August of last year. And I was living with my family members at the time. And so I'm thinking about my parents being affected and my brothers. So it was just a lot of emotions. I didn't even want to tell them that I was positive because I was like, man, it's just going to be so much pressure on me if anything happens to them. Yeah. So
Nurse Bree, you mentioned the news. Did you say the news was making it seem like people were dropping like flies?
The news. Yeah. Like they were making it seem like everybody was dying when really like in the background, we're like, no, it's only older people that's dying, or it's only heavyset people who don't have, that have a very extensive medical history. It's not, I had young patients, but they would come in and then they would just go back home. They were making it seem like everybody was dying. And it was just like, but y'all forgetting about people die from the flu. People die from pneumonia. Like it's other things I hear people are dying for, but they was just like blowing up COVID, which a lot of people did die. Like I think in America, almost 500,000 people almost died. That's a lot, but a lot of people die from the flu and pneumonia as well on the same kind of scale. They just don't put on the news.
Let me ask you one more thing, and I would love for you to chime in as well, Ashley. According to, again, Blue Cross Blue Shield, there was a millennial survey that they held with thousands of millennials, and 83% of millennials considered themselves in good or excellent health. The other side of the statistic is that 68% of millennials have a primary care physician. So, Nurse Briscott, as a nurse, you mentioned those older people passing are people who had weight issues, basically pre-existing health conditions. Do you see differences between those that don't have primary health care physicians versus those that do? And like, could having a primary care physician maybe prevent illnesses from occurring?
Absolutely. Definitely in the Black community, a lot of people don't have, definitely young. When I was in nursing school, if I wasn't in school and in the summertime hit, I didn't have health care. So I was trying to, and then it would start back up when school started that next semester. So I'm thinking like, what can I do in the mean? Like, I hope I don't get sick. I hope I don't get in a car accident because then I'm gonna have to pay things out of pocket, or I'm just gonna have this large health, medical bill. And so I do think it's better to have a physician or a primary physician, or even just go to like a clinic, like, the emergency clinics, because I feel like Black people, I'm sorry, we don't follow up with our health. And that's the reason why that's why I feel like our life expectancy can be shorter, because we think as young people that we're just going to live forever. And in reality, it doesn't work that way. And so I do think it's better to have, a primary physician that you follow up with, definitely with female, like male and female, like hygiene and prostate and cervical cancer, things of that sort. Like, we don't follow up on those things. We don't stay educated. And so I feel like we end up getting the short end of the stick.
Ashley, do you think, like, as a therapist, do you think, and I know we see it a lot in social media, like everybody's talking about mental health, but do you feel like mental health is a priority for millennials? And when I say priority, like, people are actually seeking the help and not just talking about it.
I feel like, and don't judge me when I'm about to say this.
No judgment.
Mental health is like in style. So when you have so many people talking about it, they want to see what it's about, right? But people have been doing this. Therapy has been working. Up north, white people have been seeing a therapist. Like, they could go to therapy and the therapist would just sit there and they just talk through their problems. For us, the word therapy, anything that deals with mental health is like a cursing word in our family. So we don't like to talk about, like to sweep it up under the rug. So now that millennials are talking about it and actually processing their health or their feelings and their thoughts, I do see a better outcome. And as well, with millennials working, jobs are now offering maybe 3 to 4 free therapy sessions. And I do see a lot of millennials taking advantage of it because we understand the importance of talking and getting our points across to someone who's a trained professional. It's judge free. So why not? It's like, why not spill your tea in therapy? So it's helpful. And just
hashtag that.
And just think about it. It's like, when we talk about trauma, I deal with a lot of background in trauma. So you ever had a splinter? When you think about a splinter, it hurts either way. It hurts when the little piece of wood is in your finger, and it hurts when you pull it out. But when you pull it out, it heals. That's just what therapy is. You're going to talk about it, and you're going to talk about the ugly stuff just to get to the pretty part.
Thank you for sharing. Let's talk about COVID-19 vaccinations. I'm really interested to hear everybody's thought, who's of course willing to share. In addition, how finances can possibly impact our health and our stress levels. But that's right after our top 10 DM commandments. Ladies and gentlemen, these are laws inspired by the culture and for the culture. Again, we are Dear Millennials, a LITNESS podcast, season 5, episode 9, Millennial Health, featuring Ashley, Dortch, and nursebriscott. Commandment number 1, Ashley and Bree, we're a choir. We're the Dear Millennials choir, and we do this commandment together. And the choir is saying together, thou shalt not
support motherfucking Trump. We don't fuck with that nigga. We ain't never did. Like, real talk, cut. If I see that nigga, I'm gonna fight this on. I'm sorry.
Nah, you good. Commandment number 2, thou shalt, these are my confessions. Just when I thought I said all I could say, my chick on the side said she, shout out to King Bill Gates, who had him a little side piece. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not shouting him out for that. But according to the Shade Room, reps for Bill Gates confirms he had a previous affair with a Microsoft employee. Amid allegations, he was forced to step down from Microsoft once the affair went public.
That's sad. But Microsoft employees, that I don't know why that's like.
And why they even had to say that? I know.
But wait, his wife worked with him though, so like, why is it surprising?
Well, it ain't. I guess she just fucked up her bag. See, look, nigga,
her bag got messed up.
Right, I was gonna say,
people
know how to put the ducks in the row. Okay, they are not.
She could have been racking it up. Now she's finna write. You right. She's finna write a book. She finna do a TV show.
She about to make money off of this. That bag is not messed up. It actually just started.
Right. All right. Commandment number 2: thou shalt have customer service as if you're working for Chick-fil-A. Just a small little rant. My dad was terrible. very upset because he experienced a terrible situation where he tried to order some pizza from Papa John's. We're inside the store. The lady was yelling, I ain't making no more pieces. Nobody in Papa John's wanted to make pieces, right? You work at Papa John's, you make pieces, you think. So I just want to tell the people, thou shall have customer service as if you're working for Chick-fil-A. If you don't want to work, don't work. Period. It's so simple.
nursebriscott, commandment number, what is this, 4?
Oh, that was 4?
I was trying to think off the top of my head. Thou should not interrupt me while I'm doing my when I come into work, because I ain't had my coffee yet. So thou should not interrupt me in the morning until I have my coffee. And then after that, we do anything.
Do you like Starbucks or Dunkin'?
Starbucks.
Apparently, Dunkin' can have you on the toilet. Dunkin' puts you on the toilet, apparently.
You got money. She said
toilet.
I'm talking about their donuts and stuff. I never get on the toilet with Starbucks, though. But I know Dunkin' Donuts, them donuts have me on the toilet quite a few times.
Girl, any type of coffee gonna have you on the toilet.
The work coffee does have you on the toilet.
Commandment number 5. Thou shalt do your damn taxes, okay? Y'all, today is the last day to do your taxes. Don't be like McLovin, who literally did it right before the show. Y'all, next year, if you viewing this after tax day, get up and try again next year, okay? All right, do your tax.
Miss Ashley Dortch, commandment number 6.
Thou shalt not schedule a consultation just to flirt.
Oh,
they did that.
They were trying to run some game. They were trying
but
to
did he spend money on that consultation?
No.
Yes,
oh no.
It was a free consultation?
My consultations were free after that. Now you got to pay $25 for 30 minutes.
Shit, you got $25 to see you. That's better than that's cheaper than a date.
For your work.
See, the movies be lying to us because let a movie tell it. That's the way you court her. That's the way you show interest. You pursue. I know that's not acceptable. That's not appropriate. But still, movies be setting you up.
That is like a work environment. If you ain't cash at me any money afterwards, that kind of does leave a little
interesting.
It's kind of like you wasting time.
Facts. Commandment number 7. Thou shalt not be ashamed if your summer body becomes your winter body. Okay, if you like me, I got a little bit on the health tip a little later than I wanted to, but it's all good. Come summer, come winter 2021, I'm gonna have what I should have had in July of 2021. So don't be ashamed if you gotta earn your summer body in the winter.
We believe in you.
Preach.
Thank you. Ashley, commandment number 7. No, 8. I'm sorry.
Don't ask me to get your Starbucks, and then when I come back to the office, don't act like I ain't got a cash out. I need that for your double shot of caffeine.
Double shot.
Very true. But you gotta let folks know this is not a treat. I'm just asking if you want me to grab you something as well.
And I already tipped the barista. Come on now.
Oh, you so sweet. I didn't even tip.
Now, you gotta tip your barista.
Now, Bree, you know better.
I ain't gonna lie, I don't tip the baristas either, but I do tip the folks at Brewster's.
By the way, tip people when you do takeout. That matters. And I learned this. I'm sorry, Mary Jane. I know you got to do this one. It is taxed when you tip using your card. Tip using cash. It's taxed when you tip the waitress or whatever.
If they even take it, because some stores don't take if you try to tip on your card, sometimes they don't take it. So keep that in mind as well if you want to tip. Commandment number 9, thou shalt make decisions that make you happy. So you'll be disappointed every time you try to please others. So always keep in mind, make yourself happy first.
Facts, I feel that. nursebriscott, commandment number. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Wait, 8, yes.
Yes.
How you say? Yes, there we go. There we go. My bad.
Yes,
Thou shalt not deny my request to be off because the trip already planned.
Oh, tell him again.
Ooh, I was already gonna go.
Permission. I'm just letting you know in advance.
I already bought the flight.
I'll be sick that day.
And that's all Mary Had a Little Lamb. Ladies and gentlemen, those were our top 10 DM Commandments, Season 5, Episode 9. We got one more episode left after this, y'all. Season finale is coming up real soon. Stay tuned for details on all our social media posts. If you are watching YouTube Live, thank you, first of all, for taking time out of your day, your night, to kick it with us. Hit that like button, comment, subscribe. We love everything going on in the chat. I just want to shout out real quick, Evolving Butterfly Mo. We love you so much. Shout out to Mo and everybody else that's tuned in. Jan White, I see you. All right. So back to the topic at hand. Let's start with COVID-19 vaccinations. Generally speaking, what are your thoughts? And Bree, I would prefer that you go last because obviously I think you'll have the most unique perspective on this. So yeah, McLovin, how do you feel about the COVID-19 vaccinations? If you don't mind sharing.
You know, that's fine. Let's see. Honestly, me and my third eye, y'all know I got a third eye. I be trying to cover that shit. But man, I ain't fucking with it. I'm gonna be real. You know what I'm saying? I think I've known so many people that have weird side effects. Like I've known people who literally have had the shot, then was sick for a whole fucking week. Damn, I took the shot not to be sick, and now I'm sick because there's some shit in the shot that was supposed to not make me sick. See, it's just a lot for me. Do I down anybody who does it? Yes, but that's your choice. You know what I'm saying? I mean, this is an experiment that the government doing for you, my brother and sister. You feel me? You the lab rat. I'm playing.
Mary Jane, how do you feel?
I ain't taking no shot. Sorry.
You don't know how I feel. I just feel like folks need to leave me alone. I do not want to take the shot right now. I don't. I'm essentially not going to take it because I'm pregnant. My doctors need to stop telling me this. Work need to stop telling me this. I'm not going to take the vaccine and just allow me to have a choice to not take it. We will follow through once time goes by.
How do you feel, Ashley?
I got mixed feelings, but I got the shot. So I just got the shot because, you know, shoot, my mama gave me all them other shots growing up. What's this one? So let's just see how it go. And thank God, I'm good. I had a little soreness a couple of days. I did get quiet.
Don't visit me because when you turn into a zombie.
No, you don't visit me because you the one ain't back.
Well, it's funny because if you got the shot, why would you worry if I got it or not? It should have kept you from it.
Because I don't want you to sneeze on me and I take your germs with me and drop my jacket off somewhere else and then expose the next person to your germs.
Well, I hope I wouldn't sneeze on your ass. God damn.
It'd be fine.
Did you take the Pfizer, Moderna, Johnson & Johnson? Which one did you take? If you
I took the Pfizer.
Okay, interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
And then Bree, I want you to share on this. I just want to share something real quick. I'm indifferent about it. I'm not pro-vaccination, nor am I anti-vaccination. But I do know, thankfully, I had a cousin who was able to recover from COVID-19. He did not take the vaccination. He caught COVID at the gym, but he shared something really interesting with me. He said, bro, my girl took the shot. We live in the same house. He said COVID ain't touched her.
COVID don't touch people who don't even have the vaccine and they live in the same house.
Well, I haven't heard of those stories.
I have heard plenty of those stories.
Marvin.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. If you're going to take the vaccine, please have your facts. We all need to have our facts.
Well, no. That was a fact. I'm saying he said it hasn't touched her, so that was his experience.
Yeah, but that's not an argument to as if you don't have the vaccine, is not gonna touch you either. Because COVID does not touch plenty of people that's not vaccinated, and they be in the same house, so they be in the same room. Like it happens. We don't know nothing about COVID, nor do we know anything about this vaccine.
Well,
Which
I
is
wasn't.
why it takes you in the first place.
and that's understandable. Again, I was sharing that was his experience.
Well, I'm not arguing with
I
you.
did.
I'm arguing with his comment.
I got you.
Which brings us
Okay.
to
Oh yeah, go ahead.
why your question earlier about health insurance, why we should just go and get these checkups, because we need to stop lying on these questionnaires talking about something we don't smoke and we don't drink, and lying about all the symptoms and diagnoses that our grandparents got, because it's all based on your history.
Nurse Scott, you've worked on the front lines. I'll say it again. What are your thoughts now, whether this is professionally or personally, whatever you're able to share, what are your thoughts regarding the COVID-19 vaccinations?
Again, I'm not against it, nor am I with it. It's not required. And so I don't believe, and I'm personally not getting the vaccine until it's more research. But I did want to, that myth that like when you get the vaccine, you won't get COVID, that's not true. So let's just throw that out there right now. Just because you get the vaccine, you can still get COVID. The whole purpose of the vaccine is so that your symptoms are not as deadly, but it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to protect you. You can still get COVID. You can still die from COVID. I mean, it's just a vaccine. It's preventative, just like the flu vaccine. When you get the flu vaccine, it doesn't necessarily mean you won't get the flu. It's just maybe you may get it and you won't die from it, and then maybe you just won't get it. But that's the whole purpose of all vaccines. Like we aren't necessarily sure that it's gonna work just yet. And so since it's not mandatory and it's not mandatory to travel, I'm personally not getting it yet. I need more research. I'm not necessarily sure about all of the side effects. And that's another thing too. These side effects are not being reported as they should, in my opinion. So I say wait.
So you don't trust the government? I told y'all, oh damn, I just said that.
He said so.
I'll be thinking, look, I told you the third, I'll be knowing everything. Y'all just don't be listening to me. It's crazy.
Was it not true that frontline workers or essential workers had to get the vaccination back in December or whenever it was available?
They're definitely pressuring us. You know, they sent emails and they definitely like get it. They still pressuring us now. Like, get the vaccine. You didn't get your vaccine. I honestly believe it's also a pharma thing. I used to want to be a pharmacist, but then I realized like the pharma industry is all about money in the United States. So I didn't really want to promote that. And I really believe like the vaccine has something to do with money as well. So they're going to, just like chemo, like, you know, every time a doctor prescribes chemo to a patient, they get paid. Every COVID patient we get at our hospital, the hospital gets paid like double. The medicine we give is like double. So it's all a money thing. So that's the only reason why I'm not really pushing it right now. But I do say, if you do want to get it, just do your research first, because, for example, Johnson & Johnson came out of nowhere with the blood clots. But I would have never trust Johnson & Johnson for real, because y'all, I don't know if y'all remember the case about the talcum powder.
Yep.
Yeah.
So when I heard that, I'm like, I'm definitely not taking no vaccine from Johnson & Johnson.
Not only that, they only have one shot. I don't shit. Damn, you tell me this one shot gonna cure everything? Don't believe it. Nope, sorry. One shot, nigga. No, nope. I know somebody who took whole shoulder damn near fell off. You know what? No, Johnson.
I don't even believe it.
I'm not the shoulder falling off.
I'm not. I promise you. Literally took the shot from Johnson. Whole shoulder, like just like shit. Motherfucker, shoulder playing a young drove. Kid you not.
That man had gout in his shoulder.
Man, it was a hard. Women don't get gout no more. What is it, the 60s?
No, people definitely have gout.
I know.
I don't know if y'all remember. I remember when Plies said, I'm getting vaccinated, and I quote, I'm getting vaccinated the first chance I get. How I look at it, I put things in my body every day. I don't know where it come from. If I then trusted the weed man, who I didn't know, ate from the food truck outside the club, drunk Hennessy and Red Bull and survived, I should be straight. So my question is, are we as concerned about other habits or other things that we do as much as we are in our skepticism of the COVID-19 vaccination, and if so, why?
Red Bull has been around longer than the COVID vaccine. Right?
People having unprotected sex still.
Unprotected sex
not here, so and AIDS is definitely alive. So
and women getting that man every day not getting pregnant. Look, I'm just saying, you know what I'm saying? It's just
you'll take your chances, huh?
You take chances, you know.
But no, I do feel like
I do agree.
Like, yeah. I get what Ply's saying, but at the same time, I just kind of feel like as social media, we have so much information out there. I do kind of feel like our generation has so much information that we do kind of think about things a little bit more than what our grandparents did. So I do feel like a high percentage, in my head, I would think, a high percentage of our generation actually probably does live a little bit better. Like everybody into like pH water.
Dr. CB, everybody trying to study what Dr. CB was trying.
Everybody going to school.
See, that's what's interesting to me. But then our life expectancy is expected to be lower, though we're vegan. We're, like you said,
those
we're
numbers
doing
could
all
be right now though. But then Bree said those life expectancies, what she's seeing a trend in the hospital is gun violence and car accidents. Right. That's what you said earlier.
For young people.
Interesting. So that is a trend. Okay.
I think right now statistics just hate millennials though. I can't even trust what these people saying.
We too woke.
Well, I'll share these on our a lot of the are coming from millennial panels. So, but I'll share it on the notes when you download this episode, and I can also share them in the YouTube live. Last question before we go ahead and head out. What role do you think financial stress plays on our health? And we'll conclude with that one. I thought this was a really interesting question because as we're talking about social media, what we see, right? We're keeping up with the Kardashians. We keeping up with this person doing this, XYZ. Do you all feel like finances plays a role on our health, or has it played a role on yours or others?
I would say absolutely. Even if something is so simple as open enrollment, we don't understand financial literacy. So we don't understand if the job has a health and life insurance policy on it and how to tell our family members, hey, if something happens to me, go to this company, my job has a policy on me. Or what it means to have accidental or anything that deals with if you get sick at work, what program does your job have to help you while you're sick? We don't have enough financial literacy to understand how it affects our health. It's something as simple as understanding health insurance policies, knowing what's going to pay for medication and what's not going to pay for medication.
Those were some great points. Anybody else want to add?
I think, and honestly, just not having money, is just stressful as fuck. I feel like, and I'm a firm believer, cause and effect. So if you don't have money, you're stressed. If you have a family and you don't have money, then now you got to resort to some shit that you really don't want to do in order to provide for that family. Whether it's robbing niggas, selling drugs, X, Y, and Z. I'm just being real.
Serious, though. I don't think he's gonna say something else.
If you don't got the money, you know what I'm saying, then you are going to do whatever it takes to make sure that your family eat. Then on top of that, if you don't have enough money, you're not able to provide for your family properly. So, which is why, and we've all taught in inner city schools or been, around or grew up in inner city schools. We have kids that do not eat properly, So now they eating all this junk food and shit, and now their lifespan cut. I have students every day that eat hot chips for breakfast.
Well, I believe we did the same thing.
And then I look at the other things they eat, and I hate to be the cliche. Breakfast is, most important meal of the day. This is the first thing that you put in your body, and you putting some shit in with ingredients that you can't even pronounce. You know what I'm saying? So now your whole life fucked up. You know what I'm saying? Not diabetes, goddamn, you losing a goddamn foot and shit. So I do believe financial stress does play a huge role. because it's like you ain't got no money, you really can't do shit. And I hate it that the good shit for you is more expensive than the bad shit for you.
I guess from my perspective, it was making me think. Oh my bad. It was making me think that social media really portrays as if money comes easy. So I feel like that also puts it plays a mental game on you. And so when I went back to school, I'm thinking I'm behind when everybody's like, oh, you in nursing school? That's what's up. That's good. Yeah. But I'm like broke and stuff, and seeing the people who work at like Geico, they like traveling every weekend. And you like, dang, like, how are y'all making all this money? Because where is it coming from? Not knowing, like what you said, you don't know, people got the PPP loan, they scamming, they're doing all of these things, and social media makes it seem like money comes so quick. And that makes, I feel like that's why, but one thing I do like about social media is it does show like everybody is going back to school. But on the other note of that, just because you go back to school, I mean, you make more money either though. So it's a lot of degrees right now that due to the pandemic, they're not making any money. And so it's just, I feel like mental health, that's why I'm so happy y'all had a therapist on here, had Ashley on here, because I'm like, mental health is it's really big in the Black community, and we used to like just look down on it so much when really it's just so prominent. And that's one thing I can say about other races. They didn't play about like mental health. They throw their family member in the hospital quickly. Like with us, we would downplay our family members and say that they're just crazy or they on crack or something, instead of realizing like this is a generational thing that's going to continue to go on and on and on. And so I think back to the finances thing, social media will make you feel like you're behind in life and you're really not.
Yeah, I was going to add, for one, going back to what Bree said, Nurse Briscott said, Black people, we experience so much trauma, and for a lot of our neighbors who were living in inner cities, of course, it's that financial trauma as well. But then going into just our finances, it's so scarce for us. Like, we do not get paid what we need to have, what we need to be paid for a way of living. We don't. So it's stressful for us to be able to make a way of living on our own, survive, be able to master our professional careers, and still just live life when we're getting to a point where we're aging, but we're balancing multiple priorities with little to no money to achieve financial goals, to achieve life goals, to achieve all these milestones. It's definitely difficult if you haven't mastered it early on. And then you got to think about retirement. Like they say that if you did not start saving for retirement, like when you were like 20, 21,
now
you're catching up. Like you got to be catching up. So it's like some of those resources, it didn't really hit for us until it's kind of like, all right, now we're catching up, and we have a lot of catching up to do if you're one of those millennials.
Yeah.
Most ladies and gentlemen, dear Millennials, the Lit Ass Podcast, Season 5, Episode 9, Millennial Health, featuring Ashley, Dortch, and Nurse Briscott. Before we get into our Dear Millennial open letter by your girl, Mary Jane, we want to open the floor first to Ashley. We'll do shout-outs at the end, but is there anything that you want to promote? How can the people keep in contact with you? Anything you want to plug? Here's your opportunity to do that.
I do want to let everyone know about a new service that I'm having. My approach is a holistic approach. So yes, I do one-on-one therapy with individuals. However, my new service is family therapy. I am making house calls. So whenever you want to host or have something to talk about that's a difficult conversation that you need a facilitator for, that is me. I'm here for you to help you talk about anything that's difficult for you and your family with your family present. Sessions are open now. And you can call me at 901-300-6101 or email me at ashleynicoledortch@millennialconsults.com. Have a great day.
If you're looking for that information and you're listening to the podcast, this information is on our YouTube show. Just search Season 5, Episode 9, and you'll see it in the description. Nurse Briscott, do you have anything saying? The floor is yours.
Yeah, I was just saying you can reach out to me on Instagram, nursebriscott, also on Facebook. I do answer my DMs. I am not bougie. You can reach out to me. I will answer your questions. I'm really here just to motivate future nurses while they go through nursing school and to also share my experience as a new nurse out here and my journey on how I'm moving forward and how life is going. Just straight transparency, realness, and authenticity. I also sell custom nursing accessories to keep the morale, because I know right now it's a struggle. And I'll actually have a collection coming out very soon, so stay tuned. And it's released. And also check out my website, www.nursebriscott.com. So thank y'all for having me on here. I appreciated it.
It's all love.
I also wanted to add really quickly, Bray is my line sister. Y'all hear me talking about my line all the time. Yes. Oh, we got 3Ks on the call.
Hey, sir. I knew it was a vibe.
Right. I know, right?
I just want to say on behalf of all of the Ice Cold Brothers of Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated.
Ice Cold.
McLovin, McLovin, hold on, McLovin. Don't be mad. Don't be mad because you sitting in coach and we in first class. You feel
So let's also say this, and I think it's so funny. I'm not gonna make this a big deal, that this whole first fam thing, but not knowing we were first fam first, but that's beside the point. We were family before family was a family. You know what I'm saying? So Lucy Diggs Slow, shout out to Elder Watson Diggs. So y'all can keep that faith, I want to I decided to make this group because my boo was an alpha type stuff. But it's okay though, because I still love AKA. Shout out to my girl Ashley Dortch. You know what I'm saying? That's my guy. This is my therapist for those who don't know. So Miss Dortch is my therapist.
Get a therapist. Get a great therapist.
If y'all want to know why I'm not as crazy as I was back then, this is the reason why. Miss Dortch has been supporting me since forever. So, always and forever, my dog.
All right. We appreciate you. Mary Jane, are you ready for our DM open letter?
All right. Dear Millennials, live every single day like it is your last. Pivot when necessary. Take your mental health seriously, and always try again when life knocks you down. It's going to be hard. We will be tested some days, and we haven't even faced our biggest trials yet. But remember to always make an effort to live your life to the fullest. And that's all I got.
Thank you. Mary Jane, you're so poetic. Ooh.
No, I'm not. Shut up.
It's to her.
Thank you.
Ladies, it's all good. Ladies and gentlemen, we are Dear Millennials, the lit ass podcast. Thank you so much for listening to season 5, episode 9, Millennial Health, featuring Ashley Dortch and Nurse Scott. If you're watching YouTube live, hit that like button real quick. Hit that subscribe button. Leave a comment. Even if you were talking in the chat, leave a comment if you like the show. We've had some amazing guests. It's your boy Top Rank, Marvin Frank, Chicago stand-up. I can't wait to go home Memorial Day weekend. You feel I'm for the kicking with the guys. We about to slide on phone them great. I'm really excited to go home. Yo, keep my grandmother in your prayers. She felt a little under the weather. So yeah, keep my grandmother in your prayers if you would. Shout out to my mama. Shout out to my dad. Just everybody. My sister, my nephew, my goddaughter. Dang, I feel like I'm missing something. Yo, shout out to all the kids at Bluff City High School. I teach the most amazing scholars in the world. And yeah, that's all. I won't self-indulge too much. Thank you. McLovin.
Y'all already know what it is, man. It's your boy McLovin, man. I want to give a shout out to, man, first and foremost, man, God, man. This season 5, y'all. Season 5, Dear Millennial Lit Ass Podcast Mode. We own and popping like Chris Brown in 2004. You feel me? So, also shout out to Dale. Anybody who knows me know that I love my son. That's my pride and joy. Also shout out to my mama, still in California. Shout out to the kids that I teach and reach every day. Also, shout out to the Lemoyne College family. We got 2 big timers right now, man. Ashley Dortch is here with us, man. I love her to death. Ashley is my sister. Like forever, I will call her about any and everything. And because of that, I love you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you for being on the show.
All right, y'all. It's your girl Mary Jane. Shout out to my parents, my mom, my dad, my siblings. Shout out to all of them. Shout out to everybody that's tuning in today. Thank you for sticking with us for season 5. We're brushing up on our last episode in a couple of weeks. So we hope to see you all on June 7th. Yeah, that's all I got.
Miss Ashley Dortch, any shout outs, any last things, any last remarks?
Shout out to God, the head of my life. I want to thank y'all for inviting me here. Shout out to my accountant who was on here. And I don't want an accountant. If you have an accountant, you need one. Anyone who has a therapist, shout out to you for putting yourself first. You deserve it. All I got for you.
Nurse Scott.
Yes, I wanted to shout out, just like everyone else, to God, because I wouldn't be here without him. I also want to shout out to my followers and my family and my friends. They always support me. And shout out to the future nurses out there. Never let anyone say that you are not capable. You are more than capable. You are meant to be a nurse, and we need you. And thank y'all. I appreciate it, Dejanay. I thank you for this opportunity. I love my line sister, and I really love Dear Millennials. I've been following y'all since she started, and so this is lit. I appreciate it.
Yo, we appreciate you so much. Ashley Dortch, nursebriscott, two outstanding women, not just Black women, but just you all are doing great work. Thank you for coming not only to our podcast, but sacrificing your life to be of service and assistance to others. We need more like you. And I just want to tell you this real quick, Nurse Scott. My grandmother that I was just sharing with, I absolutely love just mental health professionals, but I have a special thing for nurses because she calls them angels of mercy. And I just think that's the most beautiful thing. So shout out to you. Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, we are Dear Millennials, the Lit Ass Podcast. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe, hit that comment button. You can find this episode on all podcasting platforms. Just search Dear Millennials. If you need to catch up to our season 5, because our season our season finale is coming up June 7th, 2021. And we're so excited about it. We might even share it on Facebook too. So it might be Facebook and YouTube. Follow Dear Millennials everywhere. Again, ladies and gentlemen, Dear Millennials, the Lit Ass Podcast, and we're gonna take you out just like this.
A lit ass week to you, my friend. Yeah, nigga. Ass week. Yeah, until we meet again. Hey, have a lit ass week.
That's just so epic.
He goes, yeah, nigga, in the background.
Niggas. All right, y'all. One love.